Hi guys, welcome back. Long time no see and talk to and such like. On which note, I'm going to make a couple of apologies. The first one is, I'm sorry about the state of my voice at the moment. It's been destroyed for a week or so. I would have waited until it had healed up to put this video on, but basically I've waited so long that I had to do it either way. Second off is an apology on that line. I'm sorry it's taken so long for me to put a video up. Everything's been crazy, summer holidays, work, new rules for Warhammer 40,000, new rules for Astra Militarum, Orcs and Space Wolves. That's all three of mine. The armies need to be redone. A lot of work around the house, etc, etc. Bad excuses though, I am sorry that I've neglected it. But I would like to say thank you to the subscribers that have subscribed in the meantime. Especially since it's been as quiet as a tomb, so thank you for inspiring me to put something up. At the moment, this is just a short video just to give you some ideas on what I'm doing and get your comments on what you think works and doesn't work and what you'd actually like to see me doing if there's something different. I will point out, of course, I haven't finished the Space Wolf army bit yet, is why I haven't put one up, because when I found out the new rules coming out, I put it on hold because I figured I'd probably have to redo the army. And the Orc terrain, I just haven't had the space to do any terrain bits at all recently. Anyway, for those of you that saw it, I actually did the bed for my son a couple of months back now, and I did it a castle bed and based it on the painting sort of style from DMG Info and DMS Scotty that they do on their dungeon tiles, which is this sort of style. I actually made up a couple as well, just to see what my son thought of them. I will point out this is the only one that I did fully, which is obviously they do the different styles, they sort of patch it on and all that, and then they go again and patch it on again, and then paint the cobs, the stones and all that over it, so it gives it a nice texture. And to be fair, it does come up as a brilliant texture. I mean, at the same time, if I wasn't using this, maybe if I was doing a giant chapel or something, and I was actually doing the stairs out of humongous pieces of polystyrene, like putting filler over or something, this would work beautifully for actually doing cobblestones for that, or a courtyard or anything like that. But obviously these are dungeon pieces, they fit together brilliantly, and I love this idea of just how they can go in any sort of shape and order, or that going there and that going there, etc, etc. I love that bit, but for a Warhammer 40,000 player it's not really much use. You know, it's all very confined, it's all very flat. For what they're for, it's brilliant, but for me, or for us, it's not. However, I was looking at them thinking, I've got to get some use out of these. And then I started thinking, what about platforms, for instance? You could have these, and so they join together, in the same way as they would with dungeons. You know, you could have that, and then that goes onto there, and then this piece goes onto there, and for instance, maybe onto a building, or perhaps this could go here, and it could actually be a level for a watchtower or whatever. That would be quite good, not only just for Warhammer 40,000, but for Infinity, and I can't think what the name of the game is. I believe it's by the same people as Dreadball. Mel the Train Tutor's been doing a lot recently for Help the Heroes with their, he's finished now, but go and have a look anyway and support the charity. He's been doing a lot with their terrain and such. Like I said, I can't remember what the name of the game was, so I do apologise, but all of these sort of games, it worked fantastically to have this platform sort of system. And so this is the sort of thing that I was thinking of, you know. I would apologise, none of these are actually done to the perfect sizes and such, and none of it's finished, it's all just work in motion. But like I said, I haven't done anything for so long. I want to show you guys I'm still alive, more importantly that I'm still actually going to put something up, hopefully, that's of interest to you all. But yeah, for instance, you can have all of these sections, and what I found is bamboo skewers work great for slotting them all together. I will apologise, I stuck all of these together really quickly earlier, and I messed it up because I didn't mark out where they were meant to be and such. I ripped some because I painted them quickly to show you before I'd actually put the skewers in, and nightmare. But the idea, obviously, is looking quite smart. Here we go, this one here, for instance, I haven't done properly. So, bear with me just 1 second. There we go. You know, now this is like a raised platform sort of thing for necromunda or such. That'd be absolutely fantastic. I mean, let's face it, if we had it, let's just put an example of that height and that height or something. I mean, it'd work out great. And then once again, you're still getting this modular bit of being able to change it all over and everything. And, you know, we'd love that, wouldn't we? Let's face it, city fighting and all that sort of thing, it'd work out brilliantly. Or even down to like spaceports where you've got your random buildings all over the place and such. It'd be great. But, you know, obviously, we want it to have a little bit more raisedness than this and everything. So, what I've gone for is these things. And first off, I'm going to talk about the different styles of floors that I've done. This is the first style of floor that I've done, which I've only just painted black today, hence literally about an hour or so ago, hence the state of my fingers and everything. But if you look at it, you can see a nice texture. You know, it looks like a grid, you know, each one being a mesh plate or something, joining pieces. And if you look carefully, you can see these rivets along it here and there and everything, which have been picked up nicely by the dry brushing. If I just take the camera off, it'll be better. Here we go, all these rivets, you know, you can see. Like I said, this has just been painted black and just a quick dry brush with silver just to actually show these pieces. That was just literally done on this sort of style originally. This is before it's all painted and such. I'll talk about that more if people are actually curious about how this one's come out, but all it is literally just a piece of card, the double layered corrugated on the bottom, a piece of cardboard on the top, which has been all just tweaked to design and everything. The other idea I had, which is a lot quicker and looks a lot more grimy, this for instance would be quite nice for buildings and that sort of thing. This would be better for the whole high sort of city walkways where it's cheap and nasty and everything. It's just like the granny grating, as everyone calls it, or I can't think what it's called, crochet mesh or something I believe it's called, but I can't remember what it's called, so I can never buy it, because I know if I go into the shop down near mine where it's run by some lovely old ladies, I'm sure. I know they're old ladies, I'm sure they're lovely, I mean. But I don't think they'd appreciate me saying, can I have some granny grating, please? So, this stuff here is actually done with this sort of magic mesh. And it's just laid out and everything, and only problem is, like these L pieces, you've got to put a join on it here and such, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, after that, the other thing is, I've gone for two different designs of walls. And this was the first one I made up. I wasn't too happy with it, you know. It looks alright. It's was quick and easy to make. It was just cocktail sticks stuck into the section and such, a bit covered over here and there and all that. I'll go into detail later when I go into these on a proper video. But that sort of height wall, nice for a figure like that. But I wanted something a bit more uniform than that. And so this is what I've gone for. This was the first piece I made up, so please bear with me. It doesn't look as good as it would do. This was the first side I stuck together, and as you can see, it's not quite worked. This is the second side where I'm managing to work out the kinks, which I will share with you when I do a proper video, and I do actually know. But this, I think, looks quite nice for an industrial walkway. One thing to point out is I did these for 3" by 3" sections, and these are actually ones that I cut on the DMG Info's style of 6.5 centimetre square sections. But with things like, I still can't remember what the name of the game is, it's by the people with the Dreadball or whatever, that's all done in 3" squares, so to do these up for 3" squares work perfectly for that. And at the same time, they're quite a nice size 3" wise for figures, because you can actually fit more in a square. I mean, you can fit 4 of them or whatever, 5 of them in a 3" by 3" square. So at the same time, if you then got the bigger figures like Terminators and or Meganobs and all that sort of thing, of course you can still fit a couple in there. But these, like I said, look more industrial. They're higher and such. You can still see through them and all that, but they provide a bit of cover, so they'd work quite nicely as walkway size. And those are just made up from popsicle sticks, which I cut to length on the jig that I made here, which I'll explain out on the video when I do it later. And yeah, so that's how they come out. So that works out quite nicely. I mean, the reason I've put this here is because I was going to say about the paint sort of style on this and everything could work out quite nicely for doing these as rusted old walkways and all that sort of thing. Excuse me, I'm just going to make sure the camera's attached. I've done this video once or twice now because it has fallen off. But yeah, then obviously you've got these walkways, and of course one thing you're going to have with walkways is you can have it connected onto different buildings. And I was thinking of doing a space sort of area, research station and all that, or a space station with laser batteries and all that, and of course you're going to have lots of buildings. I thought it would be nice to have them all concentric, so I got these, which were just plant pots. They stack together. Obviously they're meant to be this way up, they stack together like this and such, and then one can stack onto the other and all that perfectly. But they all look quite good, and they look quite good as buildings. However, they are quite tall as buildings. Obviously they need a bit of work to look as buildings, but the shape wise. But they are quite tall as buildings to be just one level. So, for instance, a second level. Now if I put that second level on there, that cuts that perfectly into half, and it's something nice to join with the walkway. And then I could have a big setup of you know, a couple of these around the board somewhere, and then having walkways between them and all this sort of thing. And there's lots of options. These were only just from the local 99p store. I think it was 3 for 2 or something. And then apart from that, there was also the same style, but in 4-section ones. And obviously they do have a bit of bow on them, so you can put them on a platform. You put them on a base when you made them anyway into buildings. But these also are only 99p, and like I said, for a building they're a lovely size and everything. So that's something I'm going to go into. But that's what we've got onto then, guys. Basically, we've gone from DMG info sort of style here with the dungeon bits, and I'm trying to put it into more of a platform style. So I'd really appreciate everyone's input on this. What do they think? Which styles do we like? You know, do we think this sort of wall is passable, or do we think this sort? At the same time, maybe a bit, maybe people would like it a bit shorter. Which, once I explain how I make mine, you can figure out from that how to make it shorter just by reducing measurements and such. But like I said, for me, I like that size. Same time, like I said, what sort of flooring? This sort of flooring, this sort of flooring, maybe something that's completely different from both. Same time, what about the bases? One thing that I thought of was actually covering the whole bases in bamboo skewers or something, so that it looked like it was piping going across the bottom, whatever. But, you know, lots of ideas. This is what I'm thinking of so far. Like I said, I'm not just doing this for me. I'm no expert on it. The Orc terrain was pretty much the first terrain I've made apart from one piece ever in my life, so I am no expert. I'm just trying to put out ideas that I've got, see what you guys think, try and inspire you, get some inspiration off of you, and enjoy the hobby. That's the main point of it all, really. So yeah, I hope you guys have found this helpful. Like I said, I do apologise it's been so long. I will put another video up later in the week and actually go into these sections in more detail and how I make them. So any comments would be appreciated. Thanks for sticking by me, guys, and speak to you soon. Bye bye.